Doppelganger. The doppelganger appears across European folklore as an entity that is not merely similar to a person, but perfectly identical in both appearance and behavior, replicating every visible and social detail with no deviation. It does not approximate. It replaces. Unlike most mimics, the doppelganger is often described as never directly interacting with the original individual, and in many accounts, the two versions are never seen together in the same place at the same time. That absence is not accidental. It prevents contradiction. Because within this system, the idea of duplication is not meant to be observed directly, but inferred through absence, displacement, or subtle inconsistency. Seeing your own doppelganger is therefore not treated as an encounter, but as a signal, an omen. It suggests that the process is already underway, or worse, already complete, with no clear distinction between original and replacement remaining. And it never announces itself. It simply appears where it should not be, occupying space and role with quiet precision, continuing behavior as if nothing has changed at all. Changeling. The changeling emerges from European folklore as a structured explanation for sudden and unexplainable changes in children, particularly those that occur without visible cause, but with lasting behavioral impact. The system is direct. A child is taken. Something else is left behind. At first, the replacement may appear identical, maintaining surface-level continuity that delays suspicion, but over time, differences begin to surface in ways that cannot be easily dismissed. Strange habits, unnatural illness, acceleration. The entity left in place is often described as something incomplete, a fairy or spirit that is capable of imitation but not of full integration, resulting in a gradual breakdown of the illusion it attempts to maintain. By the time parents recognize the change, the original is already gone, and what remains is something that cannot fully sustain the role it occupies. Traditional methods of exposing a changeling often involve forcing contradiction through stress or abnormal situations designed to reveal inconsistency. Cruel methods, but effective, because the system fails under pressure, revealing that the imitation was never stable to begin with. Skinwalker. The skinwalker originates in Navajo tradition as a human practitioner who gains the ability to transform into animals through ritual, but the transformation itself is only one layer of a more complex behavioral system. The real function is access, because the skinwalker does not simply become an animal for concealment, but uses that form to move within human environments undetected, observing patterns, learning routines, and identifying vulnerabilities over time. It watches, it learns, and in many accounts, it goes further by mimicking voices, often calling out to victims using the voices of people they know, creating familiarity in places where there should be none. The deception is not random. It is targeted, because the goal is not confusion, but proximity, and once that proximity is achieved, the boundary between observer and participant begins to collapse in ways that are difficult to detect until it is too late. The system does not rely on speed. It relies on trust. Bakeneko. The Bakeneko begins as something ordinary, a domestic cat existing within a household. But over time, or through prolonged mistreatment, it undergoes a transformation that grants it the ability to assume human form and identity. The process is not symbolic. It is literal. The original human is killed, and the Bakeneko takes their place, continuing their role within the household with a level of accuracy that allows the system to persist undetected for extended periods. At first, nothing seems wrong, but the imitation is never perfect. Subtle inconsistencies begin to appear, often in emotional responses, habitual behaviors, or timing, creating a slow accumulation of doubt rather than immediate alarm. In some accounts, the Bakeneko reinforces the illusion by manipulating corpses or generating visual deception, ensuring that the structure of the household remains intact even as its integrity begins to degrade. And it does degrade. Quietly. Gradually. Kitsune. Kitsune are fox spirits capable of highly advanced transformation, extending beyond physical appearance into behavior, voice, and social interaction, allowing them to integrate seamlessly into human environments over long periods of time. They do not just imitate, they inhabit. In many stories, a kitsune lives as a human for years, forming relationships, building trust, and even establishing families, creating a system that appears stable from the outside. And for a time, it is. But that stability depends entirely on concealment. And the moment the true nature of the Kitsune is revealed, the entire structure collapses instantly, without negotiation or transition. There is no explanation, no closure. The Kitsune leaves, and the identity disappears as if it never existed, leaving behind a gap that cannot be easily reconciled. Jorogumo. The jorogumo operates through a slower and more deliberate system, one that prioritizes attraction and isolation rather than immediate replacement, allowing it to establish control before revealing its true function. It appears human. It gains trust, and then it separates the target from their environment over time, often guiding them into controlled spaces such as caves or isolated dwellings where external interference becomes impossible. The process is gradual, almost invisible. The victim does not disappear immediately, but is instead removed from normal interaction in stages, creating a situation where absence is not immediately noticed. And once isolation is complete, the system resolves. The human is consumed, but the identity remains intact, allowing the cycle to repeat without disruption. Selkie. Selkies represent a different structure, one that does not rely on direct replacement, but instead creates forced substitution through constraint and control. A selkie becomes human by removing its seal skin, and if that skin is taken and hidden, it loses the ability to return to the sea, effectively trapping it within a human role. The system is conditional and binding. In many accounts, the selkie is forced into relationships, often as a spouse, occupying a position that appears functional from the outside but lacks genuine belonging. The role is filled, but not naturally. The system persists only as long as the skin remains hidden, and once it is recovered, the selkie leaves immediately, abandoning the human role without hesitation. No transition, just absence. Aswang. The Aswang exists within Philippine folklore as a multiform entity that combines imitation, transformation, and predation into a single adaptable system designed for concealment within human environments. By day, it appears human. By night, it hunts. This duality allows it to move freely within communities, selecting victims based on proximity and vulnerability while maintaining its position within the social structure. In some variations, it replaces individuals directly, while in others, it feeds without disrupting its human identity, allowing the system to remain undetected over time. The structure is flexible, but always hidden, and recognition, when it occurs, is almost always too late to matter. Naprabo. The naprabo represents a different approach, one that does not attempt to imitate identity, but instead removes it entirely while preserving the human form. At first, it appears normal, engaging in ordinary interaction without raising suspicion, maintaining familiarity just long enough to establish baseline expectation. Then it reveals itself, or rather, its absence. No eyes, no mouth, no structure. The effect is immediate and psychological, collapsing the target's ability to process what they are seeing, replacing recognition with void. The body remains. The identity does not. Black-eyed children. Black-eyed children exist within modern folklore as entities that resemble human children but exhibit consistent anomalies that disrupt normal behavioral patterns in subtle but unmistakable ways. Their eyes are completely black, lacking any visible structure, and their speech follows controlled, repetitive patterns that feel unnatural despite their simplicity. They approach. They ask to be let in. A home, a vehicle, a private space. But they cannot enter without permission, creating a system that is entirely dependent on consent, where the human participant becomes responsible for initiating the outcome. And once that permission is granted, something changes. Irreversibly. The exact mechanism is rarely described, but the structure remains consistent across accounts, following a pattern of request, refusal, pressure, and then silence. Conclusion. These entities differ in origin, form, and cultural context, but the underlying structure remains consistent across all variations, forming a pattern that repeats across time and geography. They replace. They do not simply imitate. They assume position, occupy identity, and continue behavior in a way that preserves surface-level reality while altering its underlying structure. And that repetition is not accidental. It reflects a specific and persistent fear. Not that something inhuman exists, but that it could exist in place of someone you already know, maintaining their presence so convincingly that you would not recognize the difference until it is too late.